You hear that? You know, I got some pretty decent gear in the house. I got some pretty high-end stuff. And we get a lot of really kind of budget level stuff. And I know you're going to say, James, you are a Douk audio shill. And I'm going to tell you that you're probably right. You could have a valid view there, an accusation, if you will. But I will say this. One thing I like about Douk Audio, and you've heard me say it before, we've reviewed all of this cheap Class D, different types of amps, preamps from Fozzy, IEMA, RSL, Douk, all of them. And Douk Audio really, in my opinion, really does the sound the best. They use decent quality, capacitors, resistors, internals for the budget space of these kind of sub $200 things. And what we were just listening to was a really cool integrated amplifier that has Bluetooth and it has a couple tubes in it. I think they put a couple nice tubes in the output stage. Again, they're running the Texas Instruments chip. Let's take a look at it. I'll run you guys through it. $179 on Amazon. It is literally a standalone. You just plug this thing in and you are rocking and rolling. I'll show you. This is it right here. This is the unit. This is what we got. It's just this single box, and that is absolutely it. I will unplug it right now. That is all that was playing. Was this guy right here. You can see it. Let's see if it'll focus in. The Douk Audio T6-PRO. Got a couple tubes in there. It's got some control knobs. It's got some inputs and outputs. 24 to 48 volt compatible. So you can get the big beefy 48 volt like y'all like to do and just ramp up that power. I think it goes up to like 300 watts or something. And they got a couple different options on your website. Let's check it out. It sounds really good. I mean, it's not the end-all, be-all in bass and refinement and performance and stuff like that, but for sub $200, I think if you're looking at any of the Douk Audio products, I can recommend them for the price over, some of the other brands that I would say. In my experience, in my preference, in my room, with my gear and my ear. And the cool thing about this one is we really didn't have to put a bunch of gear with it. I just literally set this down, plugged it in, switched it to Bluetooth, and rock and roll, sent some speaker cables to it. We played the KEF R500s. We played the monocoustic Platimons, the Typhons. We have some Sony highly modified SSCS5s. We've got the ones with the GR Research kit in them. We've got the one with the Neil Blanchard design kit in them. We're going to be doing a shootout on those guys. So this is kind of more just for my budget peeps. But anyway, good little unit. Definitely worth a look. And it's got awesome VU meters on it, man. Come on, dude. Those things look so good. They actually did a good job on these VU meters. And you can adjust them on each side, the sensitivity of them, so you can kind of match them so they're, doing what they're supposed to do. But, yeah. All right, let's take a look. Shit. All right, so here you can get them on Amazon. You can get them on their website, too. You can get them a bunch of places. But you can see the VU meters we talked about on top. You got the two tubes. I believe they're in the output stage. I'm totally guessing because I couldn't find it and they don't really show you. Again, you've got volume control here, very simple. You've got off, you can switch this thing to Bluetooth and it's a standalone. You don't need a DAC, you don't need a streamer, you don't need anything. Just Cobuzz right to this thing. You got channel 1, channel 2, auxiliary. You've got some, they call it, it's like super bass. I assume the SUP stands for super bass, but basically what I've found kind of tweaking with the knobs is like it drops down to like 20 hertz, and then I don't know how high it goes, but the bass knob is kind of like a mid-high bass kind of blend. So you can tell when you're controlling this knob here, it's kind of controlling a little bit more of the mid-range and stuff, the lower mid. So I'm not sure exactly what the crossover points are on these knobs, but they're claiming 20 hertz all the way up, treble knob, everything like that. You can see the tube sockets. The cool thing about this guy, you've got your audio input, so they give you a little auxiliary input here, and then an auxiliary out. So you can actually run this thing, they show you kind of here, like to a subwoofer, which is kind of cool. So you can run this 3.5 millimeter out to a little sub, you know, whatever you want to do there. It's kind of cool. A nice array of inputs and outputs. You know, this isn't anything like end all be all, but, you know, $179. It comes with the tubes. It comes with a 32 volt power supply. You can see it right there. If you want to jump that up to get that full power wattage, you're gonna need to get the 48 volt when you buy it. And if you look at the back here, you can see right here it specifies 24 to 48 volt. So depending on what power supply you do use there. So anyway, really cool little unit. Of course, they give you some comparisons and stuff too, but we really kind of jammed out with this. They use the, like I said, the TPA 3255 chip. Again, a very, you know, standard chip that you see in a lot of these, you know, more budget ended spaces. Good internals. They've got, it's an all metal case. And again, they give you the amplifier. You get 2 Jan 5654 tubes, and they give you some options there too. So you could tube roll this thing a little bit if you kind of wanted to. They talk about some of the parameters, up to 24-bit, 96 kilohertz, 300 watts times 2. That is if you use the 48 volt power supply, so make sure that you get the one you want there. Again, they're saying this thing knocking down all the way 20 to 20. You know, overall, it's pretty darn good, man. I didn't have any complaints about this guy at all, and I thought it was pretty cool. So that's the T6-PRO tube. Integrated, kind of an integrated all-in-one kind of amplifier, depending on how you want to look at it, but that's the guy. All right. All right, so that was a look at the T6-PRO, again, from Douk Audio. If you want a little tube love in your system, you're looking for it on a budget, maybe you're running the little Douk Audio tube phono preamplifier. Maybe you want to kind of jump in a little tube life and have some fun rolling some cheap tubes. You know what, sound-wise, I didn't find anything really to fault with the Douk Audio stuff. You know, for sub $200, you know, the sound that I was listening to when the video first started, I just can't complain about the stuff. I mean, I'll just say it again. It's not the most refined, you know, accurate, detail, rich, you know, spacious. I mean, it's not this thing, you know, if you go down to my reference system, you know, 30, 40 grand down there. I mean, okay, yeah, I get it. But, you know, that's not what we're doing here. So don't come in the comments and be like, oh, they sound like trash. They sound like garbage or whatever. They don't. For the money, they sound really good, and they do what they do well. And, you know, for a little desktop system, a small room system, I even put this thing in my main system downstairs. I literally moved my almost $4,000 Prima Luna tube amplifier, right? My $6,000 DSD DAC, you know, all of that stuff out of the way, and I set this thing down there, and I hooked it up to my $5,500 Evoke 50 tower speakers, which are my reference speakers right now, and it rocked the show, man. It sounded good. It made some good sound. It rocked the show, and I just sat there and I thought, man, for $200, you know, does it better my reference system? Not even close. I mean, it's different stratospheres. But they're different tools for different jobs. So again, I can highly recommend Douk Audio. Most of the stuff they do is going to be a really, really good bang for the buck, out of all the cheap, you know, ultra budget type gear that we're looking at these days and you guys are looking at.
I can say that you're probably going to be safe going with Douk Audio. Again, this is not a paid review. This is not a influenced review. This is just my experience with Douk Audio. And they are really cool because they do donate all of this stuff that they give to us for review. And if you are, get in the Discord because we sell all of this stuff to our community, or we raffle them off. Sometimes we do either or. And then we donate all those proceeds to youth musical programs. So if you want to get my review units at a discounted price that are basically brand new, because I put, maybe 20, 30, 40 hours onto these things, breaking them in, reviewing them, listening to them, rotating them through. If you want to pick these guys up for a discounted price or be part of the raffles and have a chance to win some of this stuff, get in our Discord. It helps charity. Again, I don't make a penny on this channel. And check out Douk Audio. I'm James, your ABX audiophile. We'll see you on the next one.